Welcome to the Everyday Sniper. You got Frank at Sniper's Hide. Happy race day, everybody. I'm running like 5 minutes late. Blaming Laura. She was late in the shower. But yeah, got back from Missouri, picked up our keys. So busy week for us. A lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces. And so we'll bring you all up to speed. Chris was at Rifles Only. We were actually supposed to go to Rifles Only, and then the VA decided to schedule an appointment for Laura on Friday, so that blew any chance of us going to Texas. So last Saturday, I'll bring everybody up since we missed Sunday. Hey, Bobby from Chicago, what's going on? But I'll bring everybody up to speed since it was a very busy but productive week. A lot of moving parts going around, a lot of stuff happening quickly. It's serious and it's moving fast now. But happy race day and congratulations to Team USA beating Canada Sunday morning. So they had the hockey game on early. USA beat Canada in overtime. So that whole rivalry thing that's going on between us and Canada, we're up 2-0 since the women beat the Canadian team and the men's beat the Canadian team. But welcome everybody. Got the Everyday Sniper people on here. I'm recording you guys also since might as well catch us up. So last week, as we said, we had the 15th, 16th keys to the place in Missouri. So we went up a day early. That way there we could watch the race, the Daytona 500 on Sunday. We went to the racetrack. So we went to Kansas City Speedway and we went to the casino there, the Hollywood Casino. Morning, Rusted. We went to the Hollywood Casino and we watched the race at the casino, at the track. Turn 2, they had there. So for us, it was a quick Saturday, drove to Missouri. Sunday, hung out at the racetrack a little bit, and then Monday we went and met the real estate people and picked up the keys to the place. It was the first time I got a real look at the new place. Laura went and did it. So quiet area, Lee Summit, like we said, little dead end cul-de-sac, and the house looks like it's going to be perfect. Needs a little bit of care. The last people who were there didn't treat it 1,000% great. So needs some paint. And then they cut a bunch of wiring, like for cable and phone. They cut it, which was weird. So I have to rewire it. But most likely I'm going to Starlink it. So I'm not too worried about having to wire it. I basically just got to bring power from the Starlink and then feed the rotor or the hub, the router, and then the hub, and then I'll be good. But found a hidden gem that neither Laura or myself realized was there. So there's like a 4-wall. What they might have been trying to build a wine cellar in the basement, right behind the furnace room. There was a brick block, and or not brick, but it's concrete. It's the foundation. And it looked like they framed it but didn't finish it. There's no door in it. And maybe they were going to make a wine cellar out of it, but I'm going to make a vault out of it because it can fit a vault door. So that was like a nice little find. Like, holy cow, this place has like a vault ready to go. I just got to slap a door on it. 4 sides, they'd have to come through your floor on the above you in order to get in there. But yeah, pleasant surprise. And then, like I said, checked it all out. There's a little bit of weird layout, like longs versus squares and things that will make it a little strange, but managed to go there, managed to pick up the keys, got to talk to the people, and some of the improvements that need to be made. At first they were like, hold on there, we don't want you touching anything. And then when I brought them through, and then I went, what about this, what about this, what about this, they're like, okay, touch. So that's good. And then on Tuesday we took off and went to Kansas to see George Gardner, went to stop at GA Precision. It was actually George's birthday on Tuesday. So happy birthday to George. He was having a little pizza party with some cake and things. And so we stopped in there. Tom Manners and those guys came over for a minute. Got to visit with everybody, get a little bit of orientation because I don't know Missouri at all. I don't know Kansas City at all. I've been on 70, hopped off the highway and been to GA Precision when they were across the street. So I'd been to Swift Street before, but really on the highway, off, visit, back on the highway, home. And so, yeah, that's where we ended up going there and spent a little bit of the lunchtime and things with GA Precision and got to see they had some really nice 6.5 PRCs and some hunting rifles that were ready to buy. I almost was like one of them was a little bit of a crossover Manners. It wasn't quite it wasn't a full-on hunting. It was very morning, Ronan, morning. Yeah, the area of Missouri, and Laura went back there, going to be deer in the backyard. There's a pond that needs to be cleaned up. Nobody cleaned it. It's got junk in it. So Laura said she'd jump into the pond behind the house. I think it's fed. So there's a spring back there and a little bit of stuff. And so what looks like a pond. But technically, right, if it's fed, it's a lake. It doesn't matter how big it is. I got in an argument with the Wizzels back in Connecticut when I lived with Ely Wiesel and his wife Marion and them, because they had what I called a pond. They were like, I'm like, oh, you got a pond in the front yard. And they were like, no, that's a lake. And I'm like, what do you mean it's a lake? It's tiny. And they're like, it's fed. It's a lake. And so I do believe what we have behind is fed. So we have a lake behind us. and so that was pretty funny. But yeah, we were going to go and do Missouri and then go straight from Missouri to Rifles Only, and because they had the brawl. And Chris was down there. Chris came in 20th. Morning, Jimmy. They're called Springs. They call Springs tanks. Is that what it is? They're tanks? Because it isn't big. It's not very big at all. But it's, in Texas. Yeah. And so that was the thing. It's like, if this standing water is fed, it's one thing. If it's not fed, it's another thing. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you guys up there in Northern. But yeah, the whole, is this a spring? Is this? But I'm going to have to do some stuff with the cable and the phones because they went through and they cut a bunch of stuff up. So yeah, just crazy with that. And I can run it because I was in a previous life, I was a licensed electrician. So running stuff like that is no problem. It's just a pain in the ass because the house is pretty nicely insulated. So running stuff installation, although today they sell magnets and different things that you can drop something down and magnet it right to where you need it. And there's a whole bunch of cheats to run wires through the house. So I may have to cheat a wire or two, but really I just got to run Starlink and then, maybe a cable line if I do something like that. But I planned on doing more Starlink. But dropped the GT4 off, drove the GT4 out, drove flawless, no problem. Yeah, Laura had her surgery on Friday, and so she was down all day yesterday, and Friday she was out too. I just stayed downstairs and left her alone for most of the day, but she had her surgeries on Friday. So we came back, and then I have to go Wednesday and get all done up. But the other thing that was kind of neat, we were talking, like Laura had stumbled on, we'll talk VA for a second. Just so she was looking at how many people had 100%, 80% in the disabilities with the VA. And because I'm a Camp Lejeune Marine, they take care of a lot of stuff for me. Anything going on, it's Camp Lejeune shit. So it's like, all right, you're covered. But we were looking at all this, the different VA things, and people are like, oh, VA sucks here. And it's like, we really don't have a negative experience with our VA program. Neither one of us have been in prior When I first came out here, I hated the doctors and who I had for the VA. Well, then that person left and everything, and then the Camp Lejeune stuff came back up. So I went in, got my Camp Lejeune stuff done, and I since have a new doctor and a new woman, and I really like her. She's super awesome, takes care of everything. And I had to go in, and my nose is messed up and a different couple things. So I'm like, I need to go in for the beginning of the year, and then I need to move stuff to Kansas City. She already took care of everything. Like in 2 days, they hooked me up. I have appointments in Kansas City for mid-March. Like, I got a call, and I know I have to go in Wednesday. I have to go in. The vampires got to go get me. And so I have to go in Wednesday. So now the phone calls start, right? You get all the automated, hey, don't forget you got an appointment. Hey, tell us if you got an appointment. Can you make it? And so the phone's ringing. And I figure it's my Wednesday appointment. And it's like Kansas City already being like, hey, we got word you're coming. We need to get you in our system. Let's get you in our system right away. No, we haven't looked at anything yet. So honestly, we are really just first minute into the whole situation. So we'll see what the taxes and the whole. If anything, it would be Laura because Laura has a rating and a disability. I don't. I'm just a Camp Lejeune, and I can go in because I have a combat action. I actually need to go in and get ratings done for me. But on the Camp Lejeune side, I don't get any money. I just don't pay for any care. And so anything that goes in, like where she has a rating and she gets disability, so maybe for her, it would be because I don't think she has tax now as it is. So yeah, we'd have to see what it is more on her side. But I need to go in because when I got out, it was like 89, 90 when I first got out. In 90, when I had combat action, nobody else did. So it was just like, hey, you're out, you're out. And nobody thought of like, hey, you got that. You need to do these things. I never did anything. So I barely went to the VA when I had first got out of the Marine Corps. And now, like with the Camp Lejeune stuff they do, it's a completely different game for me. And so that was that was a game changer for me to go get care and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, we don't have a negative. And then even when we were at GA Precision, several of Georgia's guys, Sykes and Austin and different guys are on the disability line, 100% and things like that. So there's several people there who are on the VA. They all love Kansas City. So they feel the Kansas City VA system is very, very good. So I'm not really sweating that. But yeah, they already set me up for appointments. I did go, I tried to get my driver's license changed, but I had no mail. And it's still antiquated in it's like you have to show them a letter. Like it's like, hey, here's a signed lease. Nope, doesn't count. Hey, here's my Spectrum account. Nope, doesn't count. Hey, here's my gas account. Gotta have a letter. So it's kind of funny where I said to the guy, I said, well, can I show you the account? And he's like, do you want the real star, real ID? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he goes, well, then you got to bring me a letter. And I was like, really? So I can't like pull up my apps and show you my account with the name on it. You want to see an envelope with a letter? And they're like, yeah, we have to have a letter. And so, yeah, I still think that's hysterical. But there's a Raytown had a little bitty VA or DMV license place 25 minutes from the house. And so now that I got mail going there and I set up services, and then the VA appointment should go to that address. I can go back out. I'm gonna have to go out next week. So we got to start packing. We got to start moving all the little knick-knacky things like the rifle behind me and the stuff the what do you call it won't use, the or won't haul the guns and things. the movers won't take. Movers won't take guns or ammo. So we got to move guns and ammo. They'll take my vault, the safe. I could take my safe, but they won't take any of the guns or ammo. Yeah, I'll go get the rating, Tim. I know I'm gonna. I just, like I said, it just didn't come up and I really didn't need it. And then because now I get all the care and I don't get a bill, yeah, Laura's got to move all her plants. We'll have to do 2 trips. I'm sure we'll be 2 trips between now and we go out. I think we're gonna have to do 2 quick little weekend trips, overnight trips, where we'll spend 1 day there, drop shit off, and then come back. I don't really see any way around it. Yeah. I just use, like I said, I use my thing. My woman doc, she's amazing. I really like the new doctor. Originally, Golden VA, I had a tranny for a doctor, and I hated he was terrible. He phoned everything in. I'd be like, hey, this, and he would just go over and go, okay, yeah, and then nothing would happen. And then like the one when I whacked my shoulder out, they set me up for physical therapy. I went to physical therapy. By the 3rd time, the physical therapist was phoning it in because it was free money. She was taking the IR thing, and just like 20 minutes of it was her with the IR while she's on her phone. This is her, And then I ended up, like, once that was done, I'm like, all right, I'm not going back there. And I went to a massage therapy place, and that was 1,000 times better. So, like, Jess, my doctor, set me up with massages and not physical therapy now. So I'm going to be set up for massages for my neck and shoulders, and I won't have to go to these phone them in physical therapies. Well, I'll just go in, I'll get, 45-minute massage, get my neck and shoulders and back done, and not do this physical therapy where they're raping the VA system and they're, playing games with tools. I'd rather have somebody knead on me rather than just take a tool and swirl it around with infrared. It, like, you can feel the warmth a little bit, but it never really fixed you. Yeah. They'll sort all that, but yeah, it's just like I said, it's one of those things where process is moving. We're heading forward. Looking forward to it. George's range is going to be 25 minutes away. We talked to him about that. He already said he had Starlink and everything out there, although I carry a Starlink with me. I'm going to end up putting a Starlink performance on the house. I looked it up. I got it ready. I just got to hit send. And I'm going to end up going Starlink performance. And then I watched how they stagger the router to the mini router to cover the house and do all that. But yeah, I mean, turning real, starting to pack, got to do all those things. And so it's a little less it's winter too. We came back from when we were at Kansas, it was 50 to 60, a little bit of weather, like skirting around, but nothing really. The way back, we ran into a little bit of that weather. And then we drove out behind maybe. No, that's coming. So question came up, Eric. I'll answer that for you, Eric. That's coming. So he's asking about the Sniper's Hide app. And the new app. So right now, you guys are using this Sniper's Hide app, right? Let me log in. Let me log in. I'm not logged into that app, right? So you're on this app, authorize that guy. And then you guys are in this app right now. So Sniper's Hide has a forum app, and that's the forum app. But the forum app was before the Hide TV. Okay? What's coming? Right here. Sniper's Hide up here. Boom. The Sniper's Hide app. There's the live right now. This will keep it on in the background. This will beam it to your phone or your TV. You could play this to your television and just simulcast it and beam it. But there will be a Hide app coming. I'm using the beta. We're working on it right now as we speak, but there will be a high TV app that will then do everything that lives, videos, and things like that. And so there you'll see the browse, the discuss. If you notice, part of it is that this discussion that's here in the right there where they're doing the t-shirt contest, they've just added images, video, and different things to the discussion that's part of the realms, the high TV. And so you could post images, you could post the video and things in the discussion. So that's part of what they're looking at. But you'll have the browse, the discuss, that, and then the videos. And then, like I said, with the simulcast up there in the corner, like when you look up at the top corner over here, there's the beam to your TV. There's a go live, and within the go live, there's like the live button. See that big round button? Hit it, go live. And my smooth voice and listening to the smooth tones, right? The smooth tones of Frank. But yes, the app is on the way. The app is being worked on, and you'll have a forum app and you'll have the hide app. So you'll be running two apps, one for the forum. I don't know. And we haven't, I mean, they may have, because if I went downstairs on the coffee table, there's like 4 pages of the way forward. It's like our roadmap forward. There's like 4 pages of stuff we're looking at. I don't know what's in the roadmap forward 100% to say what they're going to do with the forum app. I don't know if they can, how much they can adjust that, because forums, they're a weird way to do business. Like I'm a dinosaur having forum software, and it's not as adaptable as we'd like it to be, where some of these other programs that they're building in the video platforms like Hide TV, the Realms, the Hide TV is way more powerful than the forum. The forum's been there for 25 years, a lot of people in it. It moves, it does its thing, but really we just patch, update. Like a lot of it is a lot of gamification, a lot of video game stuff. So some of it is starting to veer away from how we do business. And so that becomes the case of how much effort do we spend to bring it back versus how much effort do we put into new technology and start to shift the conversation a little bit. Because the technology's changing, and because forums have been around for so long, the bots, the scammers, and a lot of that, it's mapped. They own the battlefield. So they can create bots, and scammers can get in. They know how to change one thing to break it open, steal your pearl. You know what I mean? It's like a tight clam. In the forums, like, oh, we're all in here and it's good. But after this long, it's like they go right in and pop it. And it's like, boom, got you, we got your pearl. And so to secure things, it's why in the forum, guys, we were trying to get creative. And the tool we were attempting was that payment tool. Pay a buck, bump, pay $1, do this. Because that was the only tools that satisfied what we needed. You know what I mean? So they didn't have the tool, like we want to accomplish X. And their tool will do V, Y, W, T, but no X. So it's like, how do we accomplish X? Oh, we could charge you and do this. And then it's like, but then it's like we're charging you, and it's like, I hate that. I don't want to do that. So that's part of the struggle with the forum, why a lot of our efforts in high TV, because it's newer technology, it's newer software, and it's giving us tools each month to do stuff. So that's why you see the high TV. But there is an app on the way, Eric. It will be a dedicated video platform for all this. It'll do all those things that we need it to do. And we are working on it as we speak. So, right, start quizzing for bumps. Yeah, that would probably work. That would, and I never thought of that. There might be a way. I could actually ask Alex. That's a good idea. So Eric wrote, start quizzing for bumps, because we were like, pay a buck, get a bump. And it was like the lowest cost way because the system's monetized. But yeah, if there was a way to answer 3 questions and we'll let you bump, who's this, who's that, what's a 6.5 Creedmoor factory ammo velocity? 2750. What's this? And do something. But there's a lot of different things we could do. But it was nice. I was able to go in. I have really 3 rooms. It's 2.5, but it's 3. I'll have 3 rooms that I'll be able to turn into Sniper's Hide in the basement. I have a long L, which will bring me into like a kitchenette in the middle. And then there's a big, almost like a spare bedroom downstairs in the basement. And it's big. It's decent size. And so has like a double door bathroom and everything. But I'm going to probably make that some kind of, something for this. Either I'm going to have 2 kinds of sets that I know I can get away with. I'm going to have a sit down, talk to you really fast set like this, where it'll probably be a high top with a bar table chair, rather, because I have some bar stools downstairs that'll get repurposed. And I'll be able to just drop in, turn on, nothing fancy, go. But then I'm going to make a bigger set, more of like a teaching set, an interview set, a media set. And so one of them will be straightforward like this, and one of the sets will be a full body standing media set. So I'll have enough room. And right now, the only thing I have to do is I have to paint, because like the whole basement is mauve. So see, like the changed. I was gonna say, see the SH behind me, this side. See the SH behind me, like there. The whole basement is like a mauve, almost like where my glasses have a little tone to it. But yeah, the basement's a purpley pink mauve. It's like Beetlejuice. What are you thinking, Odo? Mauve. Mauve. And so I need to go and paint it. And it's already like we got the colors picked. I just got to either do it ourselves or we got to get somebody down there and paint the walls, because the mauve walls are just, don't get me wrong. I'll do like my colored lights, and I'll uplight a lot of colored lights. So I'll change the color of the walls with light. But if I can get a neutral color, which we already, that's already being done, it'll be so much better. It's like it was weird. They picked some strange colors to show off the house. Like they didn't go, hey, we've been trying to sell this place for a while. Let me paint it all white, and then you guys figure out what you want. They're like mauve, blue. It's like a Brits, you ever see Brit people? Their houses and their colors like neon green, pink, purple. Yeah, super easy. Eric's asking a question. He says he took a break from shooting, and his range does not have 100% even number yard lines. So with gravity ballistics, in between 400 and 800, I'm rounding. You have to look at your own numbers, but it's pretty damn close. Like a 10th at 400 isn't going to hurt you. on most of our targets. A tenth at 800 isn't really going to hurt you with most of our targets. So for Eric, in between 400 and 800, any odd yard line, 10 yards, 10-yard increments, is a tenth a mil. 410 is a tenth. 420 is 2/10. 430 is 3/10. 440 is 4/10. So if you have a target at 450, you add 5/10 over your 400. If you're shooting and you go, hey, these people have a 620-yard, 600-yard line, you know it's 2/10 over your 6. So you can subtract 2/10 and call that 600. You know what I mean? So for the odd distances, they're not unknown distances, they're odd distances. In mils, for the odd distances, you just add a tenth a mil per 10 yards. For MOA, it would be 1 MOA per 25 yards. Then you'd have to take that 25 and divide it by quarters. So what is that? Like every 7 yards it'd be a quarter. Something like that. You know what I mean? Even that, yeah, about every little bit off. And so roughly is how you would do it in MOA. MOA, because of the fractions, and it's, the base 10 translates really well. MOA, because of the fractions, don't translate. Same thing, meters don't really translate because you're moving into the next yard line. So your 800 is like 9, So that becomes a problem where you're actually shifted down 100 yards. And so it changes the numbers that way. But it is one of those deals where for the odd ranges, like we had talked about this when Mark and I were going to Alaska. Every year we would come back in the summer to Alaska. During our off season, Alaska would improve their range. And so they would add in a new set of targets. And one of the last times we went to Alaska, they're all excited to show us all the improvements. And when we show up, they're like, come on out, we want to show you. And we're like, okay, cool. What do you got? And they're like, look, we added 700 yards. And we always walk around with our laser, And so Mark would have his terrapin. He has his 05 terrapin. And we'd get down on the bench and ping it. And 700 yards at Talkeetna was 720. Not 720. But they call it 700. Hey, guys, 700. 720. It's not 700. So we look and you have to do that. So gravity ballistics is really, really easy to get those odd yard lines. Like for me, it's like, oh, that target, 530. All right, 530. My 500 is 2.5. Dial 2.5. 30 yards more, add 3/10. So that's 2.8. Right? Boom. And now I got 2.8 to hit 530. And I know that's good. And so I'm going to hit that, no problem. And in fact, next month, and I'm not even prepared. I have done nothing. The move is going to completely be in my way. I'm signed up to shoot Walt's Ultimate Hunter match again at Cameo. The way the Ultimate Hunter match works target-wise is you have 3 targets every stage. 3 blind targets. There's a target indicator, and then you have to look for the target itself and then get on it. Time plus hits to move on, right? So your time and then hit to move on. So, and then with a big penalty for a first round miss, right? If you miss, the points drop hard. So the first target is within 200 yards. It's not perfect. It's something within 200 yards. The next target is within 400 yards. It's not perfect. It's just within 4. The last target is within 600 yards. Whatever it is, it's within 6. and all 3 targets are the same size. They're diamonds. Diamonds are a pain sometimes. So what you do, what I did, my strategy last year, I'm shooting 6.5 PRC, shooting a slow 6.5 PRC with a 143 grain factory bullet. I walk up to the first target. I have 0.5 on the gun, so 200 yards, 0. I aim low, I fire. Go to the next target, transition to the next plate. I aim high, I fire. Then I dialed 2 on, and instead of ranging the last target, I looked at the drop. 2 MOA, or 2 mils rather, 2 mils gave me enough, maybe, with a 6.5 PRC that I was able to just hold, other than wind. I held wind and then just held on the plate. And as long as the wind didn't bite me, I usually hit no problem. So what's up? What's up, MILF Thoughts? MILF Thoughts. But anyway, that's how I did that hunting competition. And so gravity ballistics will let you look at those numbers and say, hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. You know, my 5 is here. My 6 is here. It's going to be this much between them. How tall's the target? The target's a mil tall or 0.8 tall in some cases. You can make up the error, right? Now, don't get me wrong. You could dial that on and nail it and not potentially lose that first round impact, because the first round impact, missing it was a big point loss. You know, I didn't miss many first rounders, maybe 3 or 4. I ended up in Walt's match, and I've mentioned this several times. I liked his match had penalties. Like, they didn't stop you, and like even a safety violation that I got caught for, I just got penalized. I didn't get stopped. So there was a 3 by. I had 3 different positions to shoot from. I had to shoot from here, here, and here. I ran up, shot to the first one. Well, I didn't lift my bolt when I went to the next one. I had my rifle downrange, but I didn't do my bolt. They just penalized me. So I had a point penalty. I didn't have a, oh, stop, you didn't raise your bolt. Oh, DQ, you didn't raise your bolt. You know, there was elements that weren't unsafe, just procedural. And I really like that transition from, that's not unsafe, that's just procedural. Like a procedural I got, I had a leg down on my bipod. I had to go back. I put my rifle down. I had to pick something up. I put my rifle down on the bipod. When I picked it up and the RO said, "Are you ready?" I said, yes. I didn't raise my bipod back up. That's a procedural, right? I got a procedural penalty. So at the end of the day, I had a few more procedural penalties, which I really like that concept. I mean, it's really hard to separate some of the better shooters. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Getting hiccups. My right side, that's why I had to go to the VA. My right side of my nose doesn't work. I'm not getting oxygen. And so that's why I'm getting hiccups when I talk, because I'm not breathing and my right side's clogged up and I can't breathe out of the right side of my nose. And so I'm getting hiccups all of a sudden. But anyway, so I like the idea of procedural. I like the idea you can go up and have something and instead of the ROs like pretending they didn't see it because they don't want to call it, because it's so minor. It's like you made a minor error, but it's procedural. So then they're like, boop, stage DQ, or boop, time, you know, whatever the case may be. Or they do one of these and pretend they didn't see it, you know? And so that's where I really do like the idea of that penalties, and then, you got 10-second penalty. You got a 10-second, you got penalties. And so I like that, but I'm not prepared at all. And I have the rifle apart. I actually need to get out and change the scope and re-zero it. I had changed it to the Leica AM+6 for the Kalinox 2 video. And so I took off my tactical scope and put on a hunting scope. The AM+6 is a MOA scope. There's no way on the planet I want to go shoot that MOA at all. So I have to take that scope off and replace it with a mill scope, and then one with a reticle that I want to use. I mean, I could technically do a holdover and just range it and hold it. I don't need to dial it. Although in that context of coming from a laser to back to the rifle, I don't think dialing versus holding would save me anything meaningful as far as time goes. So I could dial on and then hold it and do the wind like I need to versus just range it. And then Walt does not let you use a weapons mounted. Like I could really weapons mount, hold, weapons mount, hold, weapons mount, hold, and you could be dead on. But they don't let you weapons mount, hold, So it's like, I can't hit the button, hold, hit the button, hold, hit the button, hold, and be done, It would literally be that fast. It would be, boop, hold, fire. New target, find it, boop, hold, fire. New target, there it is, fire, boop, hold, fire. It would be that fast with a laser. So they don't let you use the weapons mounted laser in the Ultimate Hunter Challenge that I'll be doing next month. So I can't game it to that degree, right? So that's where, to me, because it's a limited number of rounds, I really don't get knocked around. I have a good break. To 6.5 PRC gives me that little bit that I'm looking for. I mean, I can go lighter. I could probably try like the 6 arc. I don't know what the power factors and stuff. I got to look at the rules again. I don't even know if I can get away with it with like the 6 arc and do it. I mean, the target's not past 600. Do an 80 grainer. I got that 20-inch barrel, do a light chassis or something and move it around. But yeah, like I said, I got a 0. I don't have anything put together. I'm not in that place right now, so I may fall down on my face because of the move. And we're going to have to drive back and forth a few times, like I said, to bring stuff. Bringing a lot of the things the movers won't move. So that's going to become a bigger issue. But also, do a quick housekeeping catch-up. We have, as we talked about, the discussion in the high TV. It's got its own little discussion section. Middle one there, discuss. We're doing a t-shirt contest, right? So t-shirts, we got our merch. We're doing a t-shirt contest where you can forward a t-shirt design like we did in the past. We had those old t-shirts with the band hammer, the cat, band hammer, buy more ammo, mill versus MOA. So we threw a lot of those, sniper's hide isms at a t-shirt at one time. Well, for the new year, new season, we're coming back around with a t-shirt contest where you can design a t-shirt, submit your design, and we're doing a t-shirt contest right now. For that, give away free swag for people who do all, who submit and use the new system. So we're just getting you used to, hey, this works, kind of thing. And in the meantime, we'll design your t-shirt or do whatever. Like somebody did one of the guys wasn't sure, and I didn't realize they actually had fixed that. There's a little plus next to the send it button, and it has a drop down. And you could put image, video, and things like that. So it's not just text, it's image, it's video, it's different stuff. So go in, submit a t-shirt design. But one of the guys, he was like, hey, I don't know how to do my picture up. And I went, oh, let me look, because I didn't realize they had updated the system. And at first I thought it was in the forum. I'm like, oh, shoot, they're in the forum. Cool. Then when I went and clicked on it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm not in the forum. Where am I? And then I realized what they were doing. So some of the Facebook people had reached out to me and said, hey, I can't post this image. So I went and looked and found it, where you hit the plus and it'll drop you down on the right side of that. But he had a like a camouflaged eyes, and it was like a jagged, peeking through a jagged look, and then it said hide TV under it. It was pretty cool. I like that. I like that t-shirt design. Kind of like there. We should do a Lindyism. We were looking at some, because like Laura had seen the one Ben Alicia was wearing, and at first I thought they were the Dirty Kid. And I'm like, hey, we already grabbed, I want to say they grabbed one Dirty Kid that somebody submitted. There's a bunch of them, fast is fine, accuracy is final, and this was, smooth is fast, fast is smooth, or something. And it said, smooth is gay, fast is fast. And so I didn't want to like rip that off. And I'm like, no, let's do our own. But yes, some Lindyisms would be very good. And Lindy's so dry and funny. A bunch of Lindyisms, write it down, let us know how that works out for you. And so I probably should do the Frankism too. Find it with your eye, kill it with the scope again, and redo another one of those like Kalen and them did with the Mafia shirt they did for me, which had my face on it with the Godfather logo holding an AI. And then it said, find it with your eye, kill it with the scope, because that was a Frankism from Rifles Only. But I need to get a bunch more isms and throw those shirts. Yeah, you don't need, you can true it to within 1/10. Eric's acting about truing within 1/10. Think about where you are. 1/10 is 1/3 of an inch. Does it stack up to a measurable number or not? You would need 3/10 is going to be a minute. And then how many yard lines before you start to see enough vertical where you might miss? Now, do we try to true to the nth degree? But if you have a yard line, this happens all the time. So talking about true in your apps and stuff, you'll go through and true, 5's dead on, 6 is dead on, 7's 1/10 off, 8's 1/10 off, 9's 1/10 off, and 1,000's dead on. It's like, what do you do about that 7, 8, and 9 being 1/10 off? I ignore it. 2/10 I might do. 1/10 I don't always do. 1/10 I might. And you know where I usually go? Like, especially if I used gravity ballistics and I trued something and then put it in the software and say the software, your applied ballistics, your Strelocks or whatever, say 700 doesn't want to line up. I'll usually just say it's probably right. There was probably a mistake in ranging, that 1/10 off, right? You're 10 yards off somehow. Something, a wind got under you, over you, whatever. And so if I find 3/4 of my dope in the software matches, but then 1/3 of it is 1/10 off, I'll usually ignore that 1/10 and figure it's probably right, and something else made it off 1/10. You know what I mean? To me, it's kind of like I'll use it like a big rounding error. I don't get wrapped around the axle for 1/10. Otherwise, sometimes with some apps and the way people's rifles are and their dope and when they're trying to do this stuff, it's like they don't get like after 800 lined up. It's like I get everything to 8 right, and then after 8, it's way off. It's like, why? And I'll make another track. I'll have a 2 to 800 track and then an 8 to 1200 track. So it's like, oh, I'm shooting 1,000. Hold on, I got to open this track instead of this one because I can't get this one to line up right. So I need to get this one to line up. So I'll do that a bunch. But the Gravity Ballistics app is pretty close to on. It's when you're truing it to like your AB, you might see 1 or 2 yard lines off a little bit. And that's because their information was off just a little bit, you know? So it happens. I don't get too crazy with it when that kind of stuff takes place. So it's just like, okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, that's a good question about the 10th. I don't sweat a 10th when it comes to things like that. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, we're on it. We're working it. I'm gonna be a little bit out of pocket. I know I'll have Chris on this Wednesday. I gotta go, like I said, Wednesday I gotta go to the VA, but I'm going early. So I'll be back. I'll be back in time to. I would do the quarters. The quarters are really good. Cornholio there is asking about the quarter. I think that, yeah, I got quarter. I got what you meant. Quarter bore. I had the quarter. He's like quarter whore, quarter whore. Yes, quarter whore. And I think it's gonna. Honestly, if somebody told me they wanted to comp, rather than being a douche and telling them to build a dasher, I'd tell them to build a quarter bore and then do Hunter and PRS Prissies. I would do the Prissy with a quarter bore, and I would do NRL Hunter with the quarter. You know what I mean? If I was gonna build the one gun now, rather than build a 6 dasher, say right, like me, I'm doing the arc. I like the 6 arc. I think I can have a lot of flexibility with the arc. If I want to be competitive with the arc, I can hand load the arc and spend very little money, and I can easily get 2850 out of a reasonable bullet. 105 to 108, 109. I could do that no problem in a 6 arc. So if I hand loaded it, if I need 2850, I can get it. But like the people who are telling people to buy a dasher, it's like, oh, I want to shoot Prissy. Go get a dasher. Dashers are dumb. It's like a single use thing. What are you going to do with it? But that quarter bore, I really do think, and I like quarter whore. That quarter whore, I think will give you a lot more flexibility. It's the same dope as a dasher, 3.2 to 6, right? It's going to let you hunt. It's going to let you UKD. It's going to let you Prissy. So to me, the quarter bore will be a bigger influence or investment. As well as that, you're going to see bullets, or not bullets, guns come out in quarter bore because it's Sammy. Where they push people now, you got to build it. You got to have a custom. And then don't get me wrong, switch barrel caliber. Go buy a Terminus, switch a barrel on, and you can make a dasher. I get it. But if you want it done right, if you're going to build a bulletproof gun, you're going to spend the money. I think you're going to be able to buy that quarter bore. You're going to get that factory ammo. You're going to get yourself up and running faster, and you're going to be successful sooner without the hand loading curve, bell curve hand loading, right? Because the only curve you have with the 6 is if you hand load it, and you're going to custom gun it because there's no Sammy spec, no factory gun. You got to hand load it. You got to buy the tools to make sure you got the necks right and you're doing all the stuff you need to do. Now, I get it. Load development's easy. You're going to drop powder and you're done. But you still need the tools to get that there. Plus magazines, feed lip straightening, and everything that goes along with a 6 in that configuration. To me, quarter bore, 25 Creedmoor, boom. Why not? You could do NRL Hunter, you could do Prissy, and interchange between the two with one rifle. And set them up similar, right? Put weights on for Prissy, take weights off for Hunter. Super easy. So I do like that quarter whore that you're looking at. I think it's a good caliber. I think it's accurate. I think it's a nice node. and everything I've touched around it, I'm enjoying it. So, how's that? Sound good? Quarter whore. She's a quarter whore. That's kind of fun. I didn't bring my coffee and stuff. I'm out of things to drink. Oh, I got a iced tea over there. I'm thirsty. Then, like I said, I had a rough, kind of a lot of moving parts, a lot of driving up, a lot of weirdness as far as the back and forth. I was friggin' nuke this week, but I got to start tearing shit down, taking apart all this stuff. Right. And that's the thing. Nobody, and I agree, Cornholia is talking about a 6 Creedmoor. Nobody downloads 6 Creedmoor. Like, I mean, we got a lot of 6 Creedmoor here because when Laura showed up, she was shooting 6 Creedmoor. So I probably have 5 or 6 Creedmoor Terminus barrels, 2 for me, 2 for her, and then 1 or 2 running around. But they're 3,200, 3,150. And nobody downloaded the 6.5 Creedmoor or the 6 Creedmoor. I'm surprised, like, when you watch the Dasher drama, it was drama. They didn't feed right? No necks. There was a lot. I mean, why did they, and I mention this all the time, why did they go through the effort of a 6 GT if that was such a turnkey solution? Because it's not a turnkey solution. So the 6 GT was to turn a Dasher into a turnkey solution. I agree with that. Go buy a 6 GT if you want to go down that 6mm route, right? Don't do a Dasher. Dashers are dumb. And so to me, that quarter kind of is that, but nobody ever really downloaded nobody made a 6 Creedmoor 2850. Like maybe I can look and I just never did because I wasn't hand loading at the time. But I don't remember anybody really having a 2850 load out of a 6 Creed without hunting for it, like looking for it. Do you have a Cornholio? You got a like a 2850 load with your 6 Creed, or are you still at 3,000-ish? Where's your muzzle velocity for your 6 Creed? That's where I would be curious to know. Right? RPR and 25 Creedmoor. Ruger! What's that? Mark. 25 Creedmoor in a Ruger RPR would open the floodgates. Absolutely. An RPR and quarter whore would open the floodgates for people. That would be pretty darn amazing. So yeah, definitely. So that quarter whore is a good time. But yep. So we'll be back. We'll get a match breakdown from Chris. I talked to Chris for a minute yesterday at the end of his day. He told me he had an issue with 2 stages and that dropped them because rifles only. Everybody, the competition at rifles only. 2 stages put him at like 20th right there. And so I'll let him break that all down and discuss where he ended up. But him just coming from rifles only this past weekend, ended yesterday, we can get a nice Wednesday night after action from rifles only's brawl when Chris is back in Colorado. He's flying back today, I bet. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him much. But yeah, so I do think that's a better direction to go. And I know they got the 135 match ammo and the 134 ELDX, the hunting ammo in that quarter bore right now. So there's 2 flavors of ammo, factory ammo for the what do you call it? Quarter whore. Right? But yeah, I think it's a smarter choice. You know, if you're going to do the 6mm, I think that GT is a good way to go. I think the ARC is in a bolt gun. I think the ARC is so much fun. No recoil, a lot of flexibility in ammo. You can do multiple things. Like, I mean, you really can't underestimate the 80 grain at 3,000 feet per second out of a bolt gun, and the 80 grain had an SD of 6 factory out of my terminus. So even if you were like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, but there's a local match and I want to go try it, just go grab a case of 80 grain. In 6 arc being small frame AR is going to save you money over Creedmoor, right? The Creedmoors, they're all going to be in that $32 to $38 a box. The arcs are going to be closer to 20 because it's small frame AR. And then when you go to the VT, the 80 grain, it's even cheaper because it's a varmint load and they don't think of it like a match. But running that varmint load, that SD out of that factory ammo was a 6. Single digit, 6. Like, god damn, that's a 6. I need that. So, yeah. Gotta go. Thanks, Frank. All right, Eric, have a good one. Have a good day. You guys enjoy race day today. We're at Atlanta. Racing in Atlanta. They had qualifying was rained out. Great races yesterday. They had the truck race yesterday, and they had the Xfinity, or not, O'Reilly yesterday. The O'Reilly was yesterday, and the trucks were yesterday. Both of them were good races. Got a little wrecky near the end of O'Reilly, but both of them were very good races. And I do think this points change, this new format is going to push them, that every race they're going to have to push it. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to today's race over at Atlanta. And we'll be getting ready to watch that guy this afternoon. So happy race day. Who's your predictions? I got to talk to Grok after the end of this and see. Because I had questioned Grok and he was hyped on Denny Hamlin. And I was like, no. So we'll see where he goes. I think Briscoe might do better, although he got wrecked out. And now with this whole reverse field, no qualifying, some of the guys who had all the bad luck in Daytona are back at the pack today. And Atlanta's still semi-super speedway. There's that one area where they're not, like, if that car on the inside doesn't drop down on that one curve and go straight, they wreck. And so he's got to drop down in the curves there. Otherwise, you might see a couple wrecks in the curve over there. But should be a good race, good time. And looking forward to it. But yeah. Is Cornholio still on, or did he leave 7 minutes ago? He never answered me what his muzzle velocity was. He says, I went with a 6 Creedmoor and loaded it down with R15, but he didn't give me a number. He didn't give me his loaded down number. So I don't know what it is. Who we got? Oh, my cousin. Hey, David, how you doing? Good to see you. Dave from Alaska. Dave there who jumped on Facebook is I would do Bill Elliott. I'm not a big Richard Petty fan, to be honest with you. He's asking Richard Petty or Bill Elliott. I would do Elliott over Petty, but I would do Earnhardt over both of them. As far as that. Hey, David, how are you? Hey, David's my Bigfoot hunter guy. He makes the best Bigfoot prints on the planet. So the one thing, you know what I didn't realize that I saw, David? I've been watching this guy. I didn't realize there was a whole like person up there north of us by Fairbanks, I think he is, that has a bones graveyard, like all the mammoths and all the different bones. I've been seeing people go into this one area and pulling bones out of the ground along the river, and they say it's a pretty big sort of like animal graveyard up there in Alaska. Otherwise, I probably would have took a trip just to look at it. But I've noticed a couple guys have been popping in my Alaskan feed, have been fossil hunting and bone hunting, and I think they're over by Fairbanks doing the bone hunting. So, but Dave's my Sasquatch hunter up there. He totally has it down. He knows exactly where to find a print. It's like, hey Dave, I need a Bigfoot print, and he's like, I know right where it is, and he gets it. Sometimes he happens to find them in a lasagna tray, but he finds them. You know, if the Bigfoot print happens to come out of a lasagna tray, hey, Bigfoot's like lasagna too. All right. I don't even know. I don't. It's a little big, deeper than a lasagna tray, though. I don't know what it is, but I like calling it a lasagna tray. Yeah, okay, 2880 with an A tip. All right, that makes sense. 2880 right there, 2850, like I said. And you probably aren't nuking your barrels that bad. So you're doing a 110 at 2880. Yeah, so you can even do a 115. I saw I saw Bigfoot in the shower this morning. Come back up. We have no reason to go up, Vincent. Sorry to bother you. You got Sarah now. Sarah runs you guys. I saw her at SHOT Show. She came up to introduce herself to me. So you guys, and I'm sure what do you call it? James will bring Phil and different people up. You guys will have new people up there. But yeah, we went when I went to SHOT Show. I walked into Leopold's booth and I was talking to John Snodgrass over there, and within like seconds, Sarah came up to me and she introduced because I had never met her. I all that time in Alaska and in Anchorage and being at Mark's and Wiggy's and everything, I had never met Sarah, who's now your go-to for anything shooting up in Alaska. So yeah, ask James. Ask James to bring somebody back up. Wasn't Phil just up there, or did he not go? I thought Phil was just up there not too long ago, or maybe Phil didn't go. But the cadre should be heading up that way, and you should be able to do a Vallejo class. Oh, never heard of her. She's the one. She's who we got bumped when we were supposed to go up. The class that bumped us out of the classroom was her class. She was supposed to be doing a concealed carry class in Alaska, and so we couldn't be in the classroom, which is why we got bumped. So her concealed carry class, but she does rifle too. She does a little bit of everything, I believe. So you can get rifling. You can get a rifle time with her, and you can get your concealed carry permit, and you can do all kinds of things up there. But yeah, James will probably bring in more military centric people because he owns the range now. And so James can cycle in whoever he needs. So yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal. I thought Phil was up there right after, not too long after we didn't come up. I thought Phil came around September or something, or the cadre guys. Maybe it got canceled too. I don't know. But my understanding was that you should have people up there and at Talkeetna to do long distance classes. I don't know. But I mean, I'd have to go on my own. The odds of Mark going up there would be slim to none, so I don't see how it would have to be a Frank by himself class, because I don't think Mark would get on an airplane after the whole situation. But I mean, it makes sense. It happens. Personalities, things, they do this, they do that, and we go from there. But yeah, no, but I saw him at the Leopold booth because she works for Leopold, and she's the rep up there, and then she does those like little NRA classes or something. There's those little like 1 day, 2 day. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could. Alaska Tactical went out of business. Oh, I don't know who Alaska. Wasn't that the other Alaska Tactical? Wasn't that the other person who had the kiosk to do suppressors really close to Mark? Wouldn't he be the Anchorage suppressor guy that was the silencer shop person? Was that Alaska Tactical? Or was Alaska Tactical more in Wasilla? Was the Wasilla place Alaska Tactical? Because I'm confused on some of the, because I know there was like an Anchorage one, and then there's a Wasilla one. Yeah, Wasilla, okay. But he was the, yeah, all right. That's interesting that they went out of business. He's the guy that screwed up went to go Army Special Forces and then didn't pass and went infantry? Isn't he the one that was the like he was native, part native, and was a big talker, big guy? Oh, okay. Alaska Tacticals in Anchorage. Arctic Ammo was in Wasilla. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yep. Steve, he was the one that went to Gunsight a lot. He was a he was the he went to Gunsight and he was the wall collector. He had a lot of stuff on his wall of courses he went to. I remember him. Yep, 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 yep. Dude, you're in the Bermuda Triangle? Freaking Casey's in the Bermuda Triangle? You got to have a UFO picture. They're in the water. They said they're in the water, Casey. Yeah, yep. So Casey's in the Bermuda Triangle. Man, I like Trump did at UFOs, right? Did you see it? I was away. And I don't believe him in it. He's going to say anything, but Obama's like Obama's like, "Hey man, yeah, sure, I seen shit about aliens. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that." And then he's like, "Yeah, oh." And then Trump's like, "You're not supposed to talk about that. Maybe I'll just tell y'all." And so balls deep in the Bermuda Triangle. Nice. But it's daytime. Can you really see anything during the day? You need to be in at night, unless the vortex hole opens up and you fly through and you end up with one of those people back in time or something. Like if you see a bunch of World War II planes just flying around there, flash them your light and make like Morse code with your camera flashlight. Like so like if you see a bunch of World War II planes, you got to be like, beep, 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 beep. Right? You got to have to Morse code them and do some kind of Morse code for the World War II. Yeah, you can't see anything. It's probably all clouds. Have you seen have you seen any refuelers going Iran? Have you seen a line of military aircraft going to the Middle East? There's supposed to be like a continuous line of C-17s and C-5s going to going to the Middle East right now. So let me know if you see a line of contrail of airplanes flying across. But honestly, I think like the tech is that our tech? They just showed, I don't know if you guys saw it. Japan is or not Japan, China. China's launching a satellite that looks like a oh, the sky and the sea. Yeah, yeah. No clouds? Why couldn't you see your stars? You can't see stars or nothing? You should see the Milky Way. You're above everything. Or was the sun or the moon bright? Maybe. Oh, classified. He's like, that's classified. They got flight trackers. There's 10,000 friggin' accounts on X showing you the flight trackers. And they're like, this plane is this. This plane is this. This plane is this. Classified. What's classified is the direct energy weapon they're going to freaking vaporize and make a parking lot out of. You know? Whoa. Direct energy. And do all that. Love to talk. That's all they. Oh, yeah, but it's Alaska, dude. Vincent's talking about like a gun shop that loves to talk. Lots of stars. Yeah, it's nice out though. Being able, and we're supposed to have a blood moon thing. I found. What did he say? Hey, I finally found my new M-Lock rail for my RPR with this. Oh, okay. Got it. I was wondering what that was. No moon. No moon out. But isn't it supposed to be a blood red moon tomorrow? Or no, that's March 3rd. Never mind. March 3rd is supposed to be a blood red moon or something. No, they never do. You got and you're moving a little bit. I don't even think you can do a night exposure because you're moving. It would probably smear the stars or something. So I don't even think you can do it unless there's a way to mount it. And maybe if you mount it on the if you mount it on the windscreen there and night, it might give you an illusion you're not moving. But I would bet you would smear them, right? If you tried to do a night shot. But, it happens. But Kansas City will be my new airport. I won't be Denver no more. I'll be Kansas City Airport. So won't be doing the Denver flights anymore. So hopefully that'll go a little bit better. March is the blood moon. Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, the UFO thing was crazy. What they gotta just declassify Antarctica for us. And that guy was full of it. I already mentioned that. But yeah, Trump friggin' busting out UFO stuff. He's like, oh, maybe I'll tell you about it. And everybody was like, my entire feed. Oh, it distorts the image. Yeah, that's what I thought. Plus, I mean, it's not like you're not going 500 miles an hour. So there's got to be a little bit with the camera. The sensitivity on the camera has to be able to read that you're moving 500 miles an hour. So I would have to think there'd be a little bit of streaking depending on how long the night shot took. But yeah, your windscreens are way too thick and you probably get weird distortion-y. But yeah, that cracked me up for like days. I put my phone down. I was like, when Trump said something, like the next 24 hours, it was like, Trump, UFOs, Trump, UFOs. I was like, what the hell? Woo! I was like not watching any TV or any of my phone TV. Yeah, any of my phone because it was just too much of it. You just got to let me know. I need to be like an A pilot for you when you do an over Antarctica trip. I need you to fly over. Declassify the Denver airport. Exactly. And they move now that the gargoyle is moved around and they turned them back on. So you can actually get the gargoyle to do stuff because they got the gargoyle and baggage claim coming out of a bag. And they used to hide a lot of those. And I do think since they've remodeled it, the weird painting is gone. I haven't seen the weird painting. The gargoyles moved. And then they do they do have signs that push the conspiracy theories that are on the walls that are blocking the construction because DIA is completely. Yeah, Oak Island's I think something's going on with Oak Island. I think they found something and they did an uncommon break in the season. Like the season hasn't been continuous. They had 2 weeks with no episodes, but now they have new equipment. I honestly think they're going to tell us they're going to find something on Oak Island. And I think within the next 6 to 9 months, if not sooner, there's going to be something to Oak Island. I think they in the new tool, the corkscrew tool they got that they're going to be doing this week and some of this stuff. I really, really think Oak Island was an unknown outpost from Europe, that a trading post. Maybe it's a vault, but I do think it was a trading post that predated the U.S. I think they're going to find 1300 just prior to 1492. I think they're going to find those guys were working pretty hard for plus years, and that Oak Island's going to pop. But they skipped 2 weeks of Oak Island, and I don't know why. So yeah, that's something a little strange to me. And they are moving equipment, and they are there's definitely something. You don't have wood dated to 1300 and 1200, 200 feet underground for no reason. And they've pulled enough up now, even if it's benign, has no reason to be down there. And then all that swamp construction they found, all the roadways that were purposely buried, like they made a road and then they buried it. And the road is full of ox shoes. Like one of the biggest finds are ox shoes in this road they dug up. So whether or not anything still exists there is the question as far as treasure. But I absolutely there's no other explanation for why something's 200 feet underground. Well, the Vikings, that's the thing. They have found Viking stuff, and the Roman coins do match some Roman coins found in Iceland. So they know Vikings went to the Crusades. And so they came through Germany. So the Vikings came through the Danube River. They came south and popped out in the Black Sea. From the Black Sea, they ended up in the Middle East. There's a lot of history that the Vikings got together with the Templars. And then instead of the Vikings going home, they went west. They didn't go north, they went west with the Templars. And how they got to Nova Scotia, they say the Vikings were their guides. And so there might be X number of Vikings who became Templars, and then the Templars opened up that trading point from Scotland and then launched to trade with other Vikings around the Atlantic. But yeah, I think they're going to find something, and it's going to be it'll change a piece of our history, not us, but it'll change a piece of world history that says these guys traveled here way sooner than we gave them credit. I mean, they even have the Italian maps that map North America from 1300. North America is written in Italian because they had two brothers who, with the Scottish, who were cruising around in the 1300s, and they made a map. And so there's a bunch of maps. Lots of stuff. Crazy, man, the whole rewriting of our history and where we're going with that. It's, and you know, the biggest question is why? Like, why not talk about it? Why have we had this erasure resets? And the only reason is because there's others or something else that's been here with us who decided, we're done talking to you guys right now. You know, we don't need you, you know, and then we were like, oh, but we do. And they're like, yeah, we'll come back later. And so I don't know why that whole erasure thing is happening. It's strange. It's weird to me. But anyway, I'm going to try to get some stuff done. I'm going to pop off in a minute, guys, go do some things, getting ready for races and stuff. But yeah, I'll be live again Wednesday with Chris. We'll do after action from his thing at Rifles Only. We'll talk to you about some upcoming. I'm going to be packing. I don't know if it would destroy religion, because they're saying they're gods with small g's. Who cares if, like, I don't really think it would destroy religion. Like, we all expect to see a God anyway. We were raised being told our most popular God was coming back. Right? So we were raised saying he's returning. So if it was a different form of a God with a little g, why would we be offended by that? Oh, we were wrong about this. They're little g, not big G. I mean, that's what they say right now. They're considered little g, not big. And only little g because of time. You know? And so if they were us a million years ago, and after, you know, half a million years of evolution, they don't look like us anymore. Or maybe they were like the reptiles or maybe they were a lizard, got us smart, and just kept evolving. Right? So they're pre-us. Well, if they're that smart, been here that long, and they're pre-us, gods with little g's. That's all. Doesn't have to be a big G God. Be a little G. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't really see how the world would be offended. The only thing is it would break. It wouldn't break religion. It would break power centers. Because for me and you, it wouldn't change anything except who might be in charge. Right? We don't talk to the president. We talk to our ancient overlord who acts like a president, but maybe worse, maybe better. I don't know. Maybe they come back and they're like, cut that dude's head off. I don't like him. Cut his head off. I don't like him either. Cut his head off. I don't like him. And maybe that's their answer to everything, which is why, it would break something. Because if we basically open the door and say, hey, come on out, their answer to everything is, kill a few million of them and cut their heads off and we'll be better. And we're like, no, you're not cutting a million of our heads off. I don't know. And that to me would be the only negative, is if Gods with little g showed up and to flex power, we're cutting heads. But if Gods with little g showed up and said, hey, we know more than you, listen to us, we're going to make you go here. By 10 years, you're going to be here, not here. What would be the negative? Just a different person in charge. So I'm not quite sure the breaking religion. And religion tells us aliens are coming. They just have a different name, right? If the alien comes from above us, he's an angel. If the alien comes from below us, he's a devil. Maybe. And they're saying these are below us, so maybe these are a devil, and they don't want us to get cozy with the devil. Maybe we kind of know that's a devil under us. He's not in our best interest. The guys below us, they're going to cut 100 heads off. The guys above us, they're not coming back for a while. But in the meantime, the guys below us aren't really going to mess with us. But at some point, somebody's going to be back in charge. If they're that smart, and I don't know. That's where I just see it's another form of control, right? So instead of us getting a strongly worded letter in the mail, or knock on the front door with some guy with handcuffs, some dude freaking hovers in the sky and does this, and a million people's heads pop off. I don't know. And no strongly, hey, you didn't pay your tax, strongly worded letter. Okay. Or it's like, hey, you didn't give me my tribute. Heads off. That might be the difference. I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Because it can't be nothing. You know what I mean? It's not nothing. So that's, but it's the number of distractions are like insane. But it's I don't know. I don't even know where to go with it. It's just so crazy. Like, it's like, hey, don't look here. Look here. And it's like, okay. And like, they want us numb. Have a beer. Watch the United States beat Canada and start drinking beer at 8 a.m. You'll be fine. Right? Meanwhile, there's some guy in the back room. Yes, it has to be something. Exactly what Vincent's saying. It has to be something. But that's why they want us drinking, shower beers in the morning before we watch the game. Because then you don't ask silly questions. Like right now, we're rewatching Babylon 5. And that has the ancients coming back, the shadows. But the Vorlons are like the ancients, and they're like angels. And they said, if you see him, no one's ever seen a Vorlon. But then they said, if he takes his encounter suit off, who would recognize him? His answer was everyone, because he's an angel to everyone. Whatever you are or whatever you follow, that's what you see. So if you're in Babylon 5 world, if you come from a different planet and your god is, beep bop, beep bop, when Vorlon takes his hat off, you see beep bop, beep bop. I might see Jesus. And so that's kind of how it is. And then the shadows are coming, the light and the dark. But the shadows did come from underground. So they came from inside the planet. Okay, cool. But yeah, yep. So that's kind of where we're at. All right, guys, we're gonna be on Wednesday. Again, the Hide the App stuff's coming. T-shirt contest over there. New videos, new channels. Black Plague guy. Mac from Black Plague, we got him on there. We got new channels signed up on Hide TV, new videos up, new content, varying content, right? We're varying the content. We're throwing all kinds of stuff. If you want a channel on Hide TV, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll build you a channel. But yeah, we got all kinds of stuff happening. I will be around this week. Like I said, we're going to be doing our live Wednesday. We're going to be catching up. We are in the middle of a move. March 9th is my official kind of move. So between now and March, there's going to be a lot of scatteredness with my account here and what's going on. So it may be a little inconsistent. That's why we have other channels for you to watch. Chris Roberts, CR2, is posting the lessons up on Hide TV on how to make video content for shooting, for social media, how to go and use your phones, use the different tools. So we're doing that 8-part series on filming gun tube content. So people, if they want to create a channel, if they want to learn how to do this, if they want to get some really basics down quick and easy, CR2 has it on Hide TV. So there we go. That's where I'm at. I'm going to try to get some oxygen to my nose so I don't keep hiccuping like that. But we are moving forward. We are getting everything done. It is going to be, for about the next 30 days, it will be a little bit of disjointed because I'm going to be here, there, back and forth. I got to bring all these little things and scoop them up, drag them to Kansas City, put them in the new place. I got to paint the new place. I got to decorate the new place. I got to set up the live studios in the new place. So we got all that stuff happening and we'll be there. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being part of the Everyday Sniper. Thank you guys live. I do have some interviews lined up. I just have to be in one place to get them done and then get people. But once I'm past this about 30-day of mess with the move, look forward us to jump in. But the Everyday Sniper people, I got you covered. I can do some simulcasting this way, so I appreciate it. Again, thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being a part. We are out.